Right now?
So let's see. We are live.
Okay, so this is the Facilities Committee of the Albany Library, and we have three agenda items today. We have Department of Library Development grants that are part of our facilities planning for 2020 that we had already approved, but we just have to decide which ones we want to send along to the grant application. And I just want to talk briefly about our facilities plan, and we'll hear a bit of an update on our capitals projects with Adam and Scott. Does that sound good?
That sounds like the agenda.
And I'll just add one last part of that is just a few forwarding recommendations to the next committee. So Matthew, I'm so glad you're here so that you'll be able to follow those through, however that committee gets configured next. Okay. So Rebecca sent us the Google document that is it's a copy of the memo that we had in March.
Yeah. So the changes to that is, how we've been doing this in the past is we, in the beginning of the year, pass a bunch of capital improvement projects. And we agreed about 2 years ago that we would vet these projects, and then these projects, from this list of projects, we would also select what we would be going after for Department of Library Development grant, construction grant aid. So we took the memo that we gave you back in March when 24 hours before the world went completely haywire, pretty much, and kind of went through that list and also proposed which projects we think should get DLD funding. So in March, we agreed to do some work on Pine Hills, which was an office expansion and an upgrade to the HVAC system. We also agreed at how we would do an upgrade to the HVAC system. We agreed to a district-wide upgrade to the communication system, and then also a district-wide upgrade to the HVAC system, which was a uniform movement of Metasystem for making sure every building could function on the same Metasystem. Adam and I have met a couple times, and we've discussed the fact that we really would like, our ask is that we apply for funding to create offices in our Pine Hills branch. And then after talking with, and the reason for doing that is we realized that the open office plan is dead. Honestly, it was dead before COVID-19, but now with COVID-19, it's very important for us to have separate working spaces for our staff. And then after talking to Alyssa, she thought it might be good for us all to apply for the upgrade to the HVAC system at Pine Hills as well, which would be an additional $94,000. So we would be seeking $154,000 in Department of Library development grants for next fiscal year.
And Scott, would you just remind me, are we 50-50 or 25-75?
We're 25-75, so we would be looking at about $90,000 back of the envelope calculation.
That we would be receiving from?
Yes. From Department of from DLD.
Yeah.
Unless Upper Hudson came back to us and said, listen, due to disbursements, we'd be willing to at least fund 50%. We have agreed to take less in the future. We have agreed to take less in the past.
Right. Okay. so Scott and I also talked about this might be, it's hard to know what other libraries are going to do, but you'll recall with ELD grants, some years there's great competition because somebody's coming in with a big project, and other ones, the other years there aren't. I'm hedging my bets that people aren't going to do big projects, so and the money is already allocated for this year. So I'm wondering whether it behooves us, since we do have capital reserve, whether we try to do more. Now, Scott's reminded me that each of we don't go in for one application for ALP. We have to go in for separate applications for each building that we have a project in. That's why we would combine the two Pine Hills together. So like, it's not like we wouldn't go in for all the HVACs under one, because they're all in different buildings. So the question is whether we want to push Scott to do more applications and request more money, whether you feel that's enough to take on right now. And then, so Scott, to inform that, where are we in the process with those other capital projects that you listed on that list?
I think Adam will let us know later on, but we're definitely moving forward with all of these projects. None of the, except for the office project. I think you're touching on all these projects, correct, Adam?
Yeah, you want me to give you the update?
Oh,
okay.
You're
want me to
muted there.
update you?
I'm not hearing you, Adam.
You can't hear me?
I'm hearing him.
Yeah.
You're hearing him?
I am.
I'm pretty loud.
Oh, there you
can't
are.
Get...
There you are.
He is loud, yeah.
I mean, look at me. I'm loud.
You are loud.
Thank you, Arlene. I appreciate that. So, can you hear me, Alyssa?
Oh.
Yes?
Now we're hearing you.
Okay. All right. So, as far as where we're at,
Hearing you now. That's so weird.
Maybe it's his beard.
All right. Can you hear? All right. So it looks like I got 4 out of 5 listening to me. Okay. So where we're at right now, the Howe PV array and generator project, we're 3 weeks out. It's with GPI. Their electrical engineering is currently being designed for the load, them plugging it into the box in the basement. And then we're going to move over to the pad dimensions, how big the generator is going to be. I've already picked one out. So timeline this past Thursday with Dan over at GPI was 3 weeks. Then we'll move on to the next phase. So I was trying to get a timeline from them. They're currently working on the electrical engineering part in the background. I would like to move that quicker, so I'll keep the pressure on with those guys there. As far as Delaware, today I just got about 8 bids, and I was looking at them. I just received another one, an email for the Delaware parking lot project. I'll probably make a decision tomorrow or Thursday, and find out who I'm going to select to get the parking lot.
Okay, but that wasn't on our capital projects for 2020, was it?
No.
That was
So
just a maintenance issue.
Yeah, those are both the 2020 DLD projects.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So these are the projects I adopted when I came in that needed to be done.
Right. Okay, but I'm talking about from the 2020 list. We had the 2 Pine Hills projects. We had the Howe HVAC system upgrade, and then we had the communication system upgrade and the HVAC server upgrade.
So Adam, if you could look at that memo real quick that I sent out with the email, and just to give us, just for now, and then you can talk about the other projects. Just for now, give us an update on where we are in terms of these projects that we're making an ask for.
Okay, Pine Hills, we have 2 quotes out of the office expansion. I need to get 3 of those currently. Kind of went dark as far as any communication with contractors getting back in touch with me. So I'm 1 quote shy on the office expansion. The HVAC system, We have a meeting tomorrow in a large meeting room. We're starting at Pine Hills to upgrade that building. It's just a matter of meeting the team, the ops manager and stuff. So that's tomorrow morning at 11. The How upgrade HVAC system, we're doing Pine Hills first. It's all kind of a domino effect. So first team, we're doing Pine Hills. We're going to How. We're going to see how what kind of timeline it's going to take to do all these buildings and get them over to Metasys. But the first one is Pine Hills. And Wells Communications upgrade. Currently, we just had network and power ran up into the Washington Avenue stair tower. The repeaters are currently getting licenses with FCC. And I have another meeting with Chris Flood, and we got to designate talk groups and some internal organization on what we want to do there. But, and also Bach, we changed the location from Pine Hills because of the roof has an apron. We cannot penetrate the apron or roof covering on Pine Hills, so we've relocated to Bach. And what we're going to do at Bach is, oh great, hang on, I'm sorry. Franklin's attacking the chair. I'm sorry, I thought we were going to be quiet. Anyways, where was I? Bach, the Bach branch, we are going to I need to get a roofer over there to see if we can, it has a similar, hold on guys, I'm sorry. He's not going to stop. Sorry. Okay, sorry guys. Take him out of the room, honey. All right, so that was Bach. We have some folks coming to take a look at that, and we have to run some conduit and some other items into the network. So a repeater will go up Bach currently, and a repeater is going to go up at Washington. It's just getting the infrastructure and the wiring done, and then we'll be ordering the hardware. Let's see, last one would be the HVAC server. That is part of the Metasys upgrade for the 3 branches. I don't have the information on that. It's a part of the package. So I'll find out more tomorrow in the meeting.
But we're in process to get that work completed.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't need specifics. We just need to make sure to inform the board we are currently in process of getting this work completed.
Yes.
Okay, because we're lagging. We've been lagging on a lot of our capital projects, so I just want to demonstrate to this committee that we're actively working on it.
Yeah, and
that's all I do. Yeah, there's no lag for. Yeah, I'm not lagging on anything. No, we were gonna get this stuff done.
Well, when we approved the capital projects, we said there may be possibility of the DLD grants. So Scott's recommending that we ask for the 2 DLD grants for Pine Hills, the office expansion and upgrade.
Yeah, those would be combined into one application.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if we lost Arlene. I don't know if we. Matthew, do you have any questions about those 2 for DLD or any suggestions?
I don't have any questions. I feel like it's the.
Try again. I can't hear him.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with me. That's weird.
Actually, you know what? I was having trouble hearing you a little bit
I'm
too.
gonna try you on my phone.
Going on with your mic?
Let me just see if I can do this.
But at the old meeting, maybe not this one, but the one before, there was some talk about having a lot less funding overall. Like there are cuts to DLD. So, I'm wondering, going in with bigger.
Okay, I'm gonna get off out of this one.
So going in with bigger asks, is fun and everything, but I'm not sure how practical it is, but I'm willing to go out there and do it. So no question. No, I'm just worried about how much funding we're going to have overall in the state, and how much we can hang our hats on, really, given what's going on.
And Alyssa, you're muted. I'm showing you're muted.
Oh, muted it was. There. Oh,
You turned your camera. There you go.
there we go. It's okay.
Sorry. So Scott, do you want to be pushed on this, or you don't want to be pushed on it? So if we say go for the 124, and that would be good, or do you want us to push on other ones?
To be completely honest, I don't want to do multiple applications in a year where we may not get any funding at all. Like, there was a bump last year, and that's why we kind of went all out and did 3 applications. I honestly think, looking at the money and the amount of money that's going to be available, we're probably, my hope would be to get the office. But if your if your call is right and there's going to not be a lot of applications because people are going to be worried about their budget, then I could totally see the 134. I'm hedging my bets, which I've been told I did the other night in poker and did not win a lot of money because of. But I'm hedging the bet here to be the office work is reasonable if there's not a lot of money, and the additional 90 grand is reasonable if there isn't a lot of applications, and it's worthwhile because then that's one building, it's only one application. Whereas if we do any of these other projects, it's additional work. However, at the same time, a good amount of the work that's done in the application already needs to be done because it's a capital project and we have to follow our guidelines anyway. So we still need to get quotes on it. Well, see, that complicates it more. I'd be curious if, because we do this, I wonder how single source impacts this. No, I don't want to be pushed, to be completely honest.
Okay.
I'll be completely honest. This is not the year to be pushed.
Okay, so could you let Upper Hudson know that if they had difficulty distributing the money, that you could put something else together?
Yes, I could definitely. I mean, I can't back channel because it wouldn't be back channeling anymore because it's a public meeting. So, yeah, I mean, there definitely can be some communication there saying.
They've done that. They've done that before. They've come back and said, we didn't distribute it all. Who's got projects?
Yes, they typically. Yeah, I mean, they could do it.
Yeah, I just don't want us to. I don't want us to miss out if we've got a little more capacity than other people do.
Yeah,
There was a message from Matthew. Let me see what that said there. Let's see.
I'm really bad at understanding when to talk on these things, which is why I like to use the chat feature a lot.
I see. Yeah. So,
I mean, this is the time for capital projects. It seems like, when I walk Ripley around, every organization's doing capital projects, and I do agree with Matthew. I am sure libraries like Guilderland and Bethlehem. Guilderland's got a big building project going on, and I'm sure they're going to go after DLD money.
Yeah.
To help fund. I mean, they're following the same model as us, which is find projects you could pay for with your capital fund, and then go after DLD money so that you can make your capital fund go further.
Yeah.
Which is the model I like, because so you can get everything kind of rolling ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I think Guilderland's going to have a decent size ask. Bethlehem always has a big ask, so we'll see.
All right.
And Colony has building projects, I'm sure. I know Colony has projects, and I am sure they've been told by the town they're no longer going to be able to fund some of those projects.
Yeah.
So the other big libraries I would guess, are actually going to have asks, and they're going to be big asks. I'll be really surprised if they're not. And worst case scenario is the next DA meeting. Tim takes the temperature of the crowd, and if they say, yeah, no one's going to be asking for money, then I am more than willing to last minute do one more application.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't want to do 2 or 3 applications and reading the really distorted tea leaves, seeing that there's not as much funding.
Gotcha. Okay. That sounds reasonable. So the decision on the floor is whether to put forward the 124 project for Pine Hills.
Yeah, combining both capital projects that are approved for Pine Hills, combining them together to do a Department of Library Development grant.
Yeah. So that is the Matthew, you good with that? Hello.
Yes, I
Yes.
was.
Okay.
I was actually emailing Arlene to see if she was okay on another screen, but I was listening to you.
All right. Did she get back to us at all?
I haven't finished the email yet. I'll be right.
Okay. So that sounds like a good. We'll put that forward unless we hear some concerns from Arlene before the end of the meeting.
And remember, the board's got to vote on it. So if Arlene disapproves, she can
do that in the board meeting because the majority of the committee moves it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's moved by
I'm muted so you can talk.
the committee. Okay, and then so I just wanted to bring up, I don't know if everybody, if you remember that in March we took up the review of the facilities plan, but we tabled it because the numbers didn't add up and there were some edits in the document that needed to happen. So I just wanted to remind particularly you, Matthew, and Adam, that we would like to put forward to the board a facilities plan, the 2020 to 2024 facilities plan for the board to approve. So that one page, particularly the budget for facilities plan implementation, the numbers don't add up. So we just need to pull our numbers together and be a little clearer before we put this forward again. So my guess is that the next facilities committee is going to have to take a good look at the plan again, make those changes, and put it in front of the board. Is that what you remember, Matthew?
Yes. That's something we can go back to, I guess, with where Adam and Scott going to take a look at those numbers, and everything cropped up, and there probably hasn't been time. But can we set a goal for when we want to have that draft for the committee? Or think about a rough ballpark.
So, okay, I revisited that on May 15th, and I would love to, I'm trying to find out where was my numbers, where was the discrepancy? Because I remember looking at the title page and covering this, and then I revisited it, so.
My memory of it is, from way back in another life. So I would have to go back and look at it again myself.
Okay. You want me to forward to the email with the attachments so we can...
So just to be very clear, on the page 6, which it says budget for facilities plan implementation.
Yeah.
So it indicates infrastructure maintenance, basically, of 564,000. You see that number, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then at the bottom of the capital projects is a forecasted capital project cost 2020 through 2024 equals $2 million. So you kind of would assume that all those numbers on the page would add up to 2 million, and it doesn't.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah, I revisited the document already, so I have to look at the old document there. I've been working on that. All right.
Okay. So, that's just let's just make sure that all the information, if that is a overall sheet, it should be, pretty clear.
Yeah.
And then in the Albany Public Library capital projects legend, it was each year's costs. We just needed to change. It's a Excel spreadsheet that looks like, well, you can't see it, but that one. We just needed to make sure the numbers corresponded with the dates, the years corresponded with our new fiscal years now. We're going 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, blah, 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 up to 20, 24, 20, 25. Those years. So that should correspond correctly. And just work out if you're throughout the document, if it is a December 2024 end date, make sure that's consistent throughout the document. Sometimes it says 2025. So those were the notes that I had from that March meeting.
So Adam, is this a shareable document where we could all pull up the same live version at the same time at a future meeting and do some edits together, or
We can make it that way. I can put it on the.
Google? That might help because I just pulled one up and it was Word, so I don't know which version I'm looking at and whatnot. So, is everybody okay with that? If we do it that way, so we can all kind of edit it and put it like that going forward. Adam, you seem to say it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Sometimes extra set of eyes doesn't hurt.
And just my parting recommendation is that we get some version of this passed as soon as possible, just so that we can put this to bed for a while.
Agreed.
Okay, and then the last agenda item is capital projects update. And I think, Scott, on the agenda that you sent, there's details in that?
Yeah, and that's what Adam's going to touch upon.
Okay.
So it's
Great.
not just capital projects. It's pretty much capital projects and DLD grant projects, all the major projects that you guys need to know about.
Okay, great. All right. Take it away, Adam.
Okay. Most of it was previously stated. As we're talking about it now, all the projects that were updated post and what we're moving forward with How Roof project, we're looking at about 3 weeks. Delaware parking lot project.
You said how roof? I'm sorry, you said how roof?
The How Roof project, the generator,
Yeah.
and that was the solar or photovoltaic array, solar panel.
Yeah.
about 3 weeks before we move to the next part of the process on that, which is electrical engineering is currently being worked on by GPI.
Terrific.
The Delaware parking lot project, part of the previous DLD monies is bids are in. I want to say 7 or 8. I had a lot in paper and a lot in email today. Just looking at everyone's bids, and I'll probably pick someone tomorrow or Thursday. The Pine Hills generator project, which was a previous DLD, wrapped into that was part of the same line as that Delaware Howe projects. That project for their generator is going to start after we're done with the Howe roof generator project with GPI as well. Currently, we're just trying to work on this project first, so we're not doing 2 generators at the same time. They want to get this one done first. The HVAC, Delaware Howe, Pine Hills, moving over to Metasys to organize the entire APL system from an HVAC standpoint. I have a meeting. We're starting at Pine Hills. That's tomorrow to start with migrating in with the project team and, downtime, wiring, all the hardware, changing in and out. So that project starts, for the most part, it's started. Now it's just a matter of socially distanced meetings and moving forward with that.
Okay.
The HVAC, some things I've been thinking about. I've also talked to Scott about this. So there's a lot of information now with COVID-19, and part of this HVAC upgrade, we're looking at, on one hand, we want to save energy, save money, have monitoring systems in place. Now with COVID-19, there's a different animal in the air, right? There's dust, there's paranoia about how we're filtering buildings. Are UV lights effective? Part of the things that I'm looking at is a few things. All right, so HEPA filtering, all these other things. If you go with HEPA filtering in a facility, because of the effectiveness of HEPA filtering, for one, it's a large cost, and two, you're going to actually increase your energy usage by trying to work through the HEPA filters and putting them in a system. Not saying it's a pro or con, it's just something that in its infancy, we're starting to think about. UV lights, there are a lot of articles out there about UV lights. Far UV lights, for example, are not destructive to humans. UV lights being put into a ductwork that are not in contact with people is another thing I'm looking into as far as the ductwork. There's also ionization of air, cleaning the air with ionization methods. All these, at least these 3 topics currently I'm looking at with the Johnson Controls team. And we're going to take it a step-by-step. We're going to take it step-by-step and look at each building as its own project. So what's the opportunity? What's our best opportunity for Howe versus Washington? These are some of the approaches I want to take with facilities for the library as we move forward along during this Johnson Control HVAC upgrade. So I wanted to touch on that. Yeah.
I've been reading some about the importance of that 40 to 60% humidity rate, maintaining that, and that what they're finding is too much humidity and not enough humidity is creating this opportune situation for COVID. How do we deal with humidity?
So I'm having humidity sensors installed as part of this process so we can kind of understand where we're at in each building. And I'm going to be working with Johnson Controls just to figure out, what's the best case scenario for us. So we are putting in the humidity sensors to go, kind of combat that and better understand how we're going to proceed with that.
Because frankly, dealing with humidity in a building might be a whole lot easier than putting these and some of the research is so compelling that it's not these HEPA scrubbers or UV light systems through the ductwork. It's maintaining that proper humidity level. So
that's accurate.
So that and that's such a costs so much less. as long as we're monitoring the humidity levels.
That's correct. So I'm not trying to, cookie cut it for you.
Yeah.
As we, I am looking at all the best case scenarios for us, and I'll be sharing that, as I find those things out. But I'm definitely digging into each bucket and how HVAC, air movement, and COVID-19 and preventative measures, how they all, because there is a lot of information. There's a lot of good information. What's going to fit us best, what's going to be best for our staff and our teams.
Yeah.
Hopefully I answered your question.
Sure.
The Wells communications, again, we are putting in the repeaters, getting radios in. FCC licensing tends to take a little bit of time. I'm very active with those guys and making sure we're moving forward and getting these projects completed.
Excellent. Anything else on your list there?
Are you asking me?
Oh yeah. Anything else? Or is that your report?
That's the agenda.
Okay.
Then there's another part at the bottom about 2019, the update. So I believe we're pretty good there.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yep.
done soon.
So just a quick question, Adam. How have our buildings been maintaining, or how have they been during close? And what are you? How is the reopening stuff working from a facilities standpoint?
Well, we've been keeping the buildings have been cleaned. We also have the cleaning crew. That reminds me, we have the weekend cleaning crew. They've done a great job. I had the place scrubbed down and cleaned initially for all the branches. So they're in really tip-top shape. And then we have the weekend cleaning crew that is doubling up now behind our facility staff. As far as opening back up, the biggest challenge for us is folks understanding we don't have infinite supplies, and our supply chains and resources is extremely difficult in this time because everybody wants the same things. We have supplies, but it takes time. I mean, it's a different time now. We are definitely nitro gloves are out until probably August, September. We buy, you buy some at the Ace Hardware and stuff like that, trying to piecemeal. We're not out, but supply chains for facilities is probably one of our biggest challenges right now.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, for customers that need certain items, that can be a challenge. So we order as much as we can, and it trickles in. For example, we have cleaning supplies. I also wanted to transition into a larger vessel of cleaning wipes for librarians, so we would have kind of a more bulk approach that we can use our existing new disinfectants on the facilities in-house. And I got 7 out of 20 cases, and it's been over a couple of months they're trickling in. We have enough, but yet you don't get that quick satisfaction from one order. Again, with the supply chain issues. Sophia, oops.
Oh, lost you there.
We got Arlene back.
Oh, okay.
Arlene, yay.
Yay, Arlene.
Okay. Sorry, French Bulldog is back in the living room again.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
I just, my wife reminded me, she's a county legislator, she reminded me that sometimes that the county has had some supplies, and you might contact them about gloves and wipes and I don't know, whatever.
Do we have a particular, you want to, email me over a particular contact? I could use the assist.
Okay.
I don't really know too many people at the county.
All right. I'll send that to you, Adam.
Thank you.
I had typed in a question here. I know the last couple meetings they've been getting in some bulk supplies, UHLS. Are we taking advantage of those too?
Most of what they have, we already get. it's the gloves are the biggest issue, but we can reach out to them again to see what they have that we might be able to use.
I thought they had some gloves. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't. But I thought that was part of their bulk order.
Okay, I'll reach out. I'll have Adam reach out to them.
Okay, just an idea there.
Thank you. Yeah, we have plenty of sanitizer, cleaning chemicals, wipes. It's been an interesting transition would be my short answer to your question.
Yeah.
With the COVID-19 and how,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the last times we met, we talked about, just the importance of libraries as a destination. And I think, we'll see if that still rings true. I think it will be. I think our communities are really eager to go back to the places that are familiar. So, thank you for taking such good care of them.
Thanks. Have any of you seen the rainbows that we had installed at the branches? I thought that was a pretty good program. We were all running. It looked really good.
It was great. The one in Delaware just popped up overnight, and it was really, it was so cheery and great to see.
Good.
Arlene, my dear, do you have any questions before we wrap up? Oh, Arlene. Missing you.
Okay. No, I think from what I could hear, everything has been, very comprehensive in your explanations and clear, and we've been prepared. So I appreciate the work that that you're doing, that you're investing on behalf of all of us. So I'm good. Thank you.
Scott, do you have any other questions or comments?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you guys how much I have loved working with facilities, and I appreciate all your efforts, and I look forward to all your continued great work.
Thank you for all of your leadership in this committee.
Yep, this is my
Yeah,
favorite
thank you.
committee. My favorite committee. Don't tell any other committee.
All right. All right. That's on public record now, Scott.
Oh well. This is my favorite facilities committee.
There we go.
I think she paused.
Good say.
You might have paused her.
That's it.
Okay.
All right, everybody have a good night. Stay dry.
All right. Thank
Did we
you.
move to adjourn?
Thank you, Alyssa.
Oh,
Thank you.
yes. Move to adjourn.
I,
To
so
adjourn.
moved.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Second.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.